Welcome to Lucid Dreaming and the Cube of Space with the Alchemical Cabala. This week, we come to our next to last final letter and current on the Cube of Space. This week, we come into the current of final Tzaddi. Tzaddi means fishhook in Hebrew. It's the zodiac sign Aquarius, the water bearer. Now, this water in alchemy is the electro-spiritual light that dissolves. And in some ways, it's a process where we are dissolved back into the source of our being. The function of Tzaddi is meditation and revelation. So pretty much everyone interested in spirituality and what we call the path has an experience with meditation or different types of meditation practices. This is pretty much essential. No matter what practice one has, the recommendation is that one continues their practice of meditation until we have some form of attainment and some ability to be able to enter into the state that we call meditation. Now, in the most simple terms, meditation is sustained concentration of the awareness and contemplation in one particular area of the mind without allowing your mind to be distracted by any other unrelated thoughts. It's kind of like the North Star there, you see in the pattern. And this pattern you also see in the star key as she's pouring that out into the pool below. This is the state of meditation. So our practice needs to bring us into this. And this is the specialization of the star key in the major arcana. It's what it's designed to program our subconscious to come into. Okay. So to this point, we have to have some ability to concentrate. That's it. Until we have a ability to concentrate at will, the fruits of meditation are very much hit and miss, which is fine as part of it as we learn as we go. So if you don't have a good grasp, and even if you think you do have a good grasp of concentration, the orange exercise of the Holy Order of Man's gates-of-light.com, you should really practice the orange exercise. It's phenomenal at really allowing you to develop the skill and to sharpen the skill of concentration. And just make that a habit. Do it a couple of times a day. You know, if your mind wanders 3 times, put it aside and go about your day. That's it. But this is the kind of legwork that most people will not do because it seems tedious and they don't understand how much the inner worlds open up for you once you actually have that skill. It's essential. Okay, so something to contemplate this week and really kind of try on. It's said in the Western tradition that it's not us that meditates, but that we are rather meditated by the all. And this is a great mystery. As we immerse ourselves in the star key in Tzaddi, it starts to unfold in us. We learn to trust more and more in that within which we all live, move, and have our being. I forget which philosopher it said. One of the old Greeks, I think, is like the world is far better cared for than we can imagine. All right. So on the cube, here is the current of final Tzaddi. When you look at this current, some things start to appear you might find interesting. So what you guys know now of the cube of space as it's oriented here with the face in front of us is west, back there's east, to the left's north, to the right's south. What you know of the keys and the currents, just muse on that and see where it starts here in the northwest below, and just kind of muse on it. And does anything occur to you at all? If it does, just unmute yourselves one at a time and just share whatever occurs to you.
Between judgment and deception.
Okay, interesting. Yes, it dissects or bisects that exactly correct between
Yes.
justice or judgment, this key, and deception here below, right? Okay,
Yes.
excellent.
Yeah.
Good call. Anyone else?
Yeah, I thought that maybe the keys that are on those opposite two corners, they seem to be complementary. I think you've mentioned that before, but that like the justice key seems to be a complementary sort of opposite of the teacher, and the
Mhm.
maybe the hermit is similar to the star, and same with the deceiver,
Right.
kind of a complementary opposite of the lovers.
Okay. Nice. Yes. Good. Excellent. And anyone else? You guys are doing awesome. So, one thing I was just reminded of, Jason Lauderhan used to say, processing this is kind of like teaching a goldfish to sing. Always cracked me up when I read it. Because that's what it is to the self-conscious mind. But there's a purpose for that. It kind of just puts it in its own appropriate place. But the way you guys are processing is exactly how to approach it. And yeah, so with that, we'll look again, remind you of where the currents and the, the paths are here on the outer. So excellent endpoint insights. You said justice and judgment and the deceiver, how it bisects that. And then Susan brought up how the complementary polarities of like the deceiver and the lovers connects those corners. Excellent. So yes, to all these things. So it starts here at the northwest below from a combination of the hermit and the justice hermits, which is the adept, right? And the justice key in the older systems was a sign of what they call the greater adept. Just terms for where one is functioning in their consciousness on the tree. Um, so what's interesting is on the outer periphery, we can only go through the deceiver current at this point of the northwest below. But with final Sadi, we have an option now. And we can rise from the subconscious back through the center, the very center of the cube. Okay? This is the kind of thing you want to listen to with your intuitive nature. But the key rises right here through the world key and comes right up here to this corner. It's opposite. The center of the cube is Tav, or the cross or mark. And it's also the position of our final letter, which is called final mem, the mother letter of water, which we'll cover next week as we come again to the center of the cube of space. Now, here's another visual for you, just showing final Sadi's current. Here. All right. So again, now looking at it, what do you see? What occurs to you? Okay.
Reaping and sowing comes to mind.
Reaping and sowing. Okay. All right. Good. So we see it goes through the center and it joins up here with meets the peak of where the teacher is raised and comes into the current of the lover's key, right? Does everyone see that trajectory through the center of the cube? Going from the western face, this world we see out here, inwardly back towards the east, reaches up there and touches where the current of the teacher key and the lover's key come together. Does anyone notice anything else? Okay, no worries. There's another image just showing this again, where it goes through final mem, the waters, back up to this corner. So we're going to let that sink down and get to the heart of our class. So please take some deep breaths. Center. And being completely present, just unmute yourselves one at a time and share what occurs to you in the star key.
As she meditates, the water becomes kind of solid. And maybe when you're meditating, things slow down. Things slow down and, the atoms are bouncing around. So maybe that makes it seem more solid to her foot.
That's excellent, Victoria. I really like where you're going with that.
just to piggyback off of what Victoria was sharing, I mean, because looking at it from that way, the kind of the word that pops up is alignment, and just seeing there's seems a little more. I mean, it's not entirely symmetrical, but there's a lot of symmetry to this. But I'm just looking at the different symbols like above her and
Yeah.
stuff that are all more in alignment with it, and just kind of thinking about when, especially in the with this whole theme of concentration. It's
Yes.
things with concentration is that exerting your will and choice to focus on one thing, and with that focusing comes that alignment of sorts. So I guess that's kind of where it's coming from. But yeah,
Yeah, great.
so mhm.
Excellent. Yes.
Well, the five are behind her, and in front of her is one stream.
Nice. What do you make of that?
What you what you see and what you think and what you feel is not all there is.
Excellent.
Something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, no, that's excellent, Nancy. So the five streams from the urn in her left hand are traditionally seen as the five senses, and the senses we perceive like the outer world with, right? And when we start to turn our awareness back inward upon itself, so to speak, back to source, these all kind of merge into one, right? Our inner senses start to awaken. It's like when the master used to teach and say, whoever has an ear to hear, let him hear. Whoever has eyes to see, let him see. These, this process of meditation is turning our awareness back in upon itself to re-enter the inner instead of all of our focus like on the five senses over here. And when figures in the arcana are unclothed, we basically they are showing us they're not hiding anything. There's nothing to hide. There's no shame. There's no guilt. There's no fear. There's just this what is. Who else?
Inner vision in the eye of the eye in the blue background
Hmm?
is like the opposite of the ripples in the water. It's they're reflecting. There's a reflecting going on where there's between the planes of the key, you see the horizon goes across the center. There's a uh, interplay between opposites in a way where they interface um, at this level, where it's kind of between what we imagine and what comes to be.
Nice. Yes. Right. Who remembers what is the oval tatva?
Spirit.
Thank you, Victoria. Yes, spirit. Who else?
It's probably more of a side thing, but just kind of because I know well, let me phrase this. The thing with the five when she's pouring out of her left hand and the five
Hmm.
streams and
Hmm.
how that's the like the five senses. The thing also comes up too is like the five, and so I was kind of like jotting it down because like, I think I remember it here. It's the five koshas right there, right? Of on the Hindu side where it's the what is it? Food, energy, mind, discernment, and bliss. Just kind of that. And again, I keep looking to like Maharishi stuff, right? Where it's more of a releasing. It's like it's where it's that aspect of like identification and you've wonderful way of phrasing like the seat of where you I forget exactly how you'd phrase it a long time, but it was really great. But just like the seat of your orientation or your awareness or where just kind of this whole awakening process there. And so when I see the five, those things were not just our five senses, that other aspect of the coast and stuff keep popping up too. But yeah, it's just more of a side thing, but just throwing that out there.
Excellent.
I'm seeing how the stars are kind of a pictorial representation of the number. You have 17, you've got seven stars and then the one in the middle.
That's a
It's just
great
like the
pickup.
number.
That's a great pickup, Michael. I love that. Y'all see what he's saying, right? The seven white stars and then the one golden star. We read the numbers backwards in Cabala, right? So it's the power of seven operating through the agency of one. I forget which book it is. I'm certain it's from one of the Holy Order of Man's books. And I'm pretty sure it was Father Paul said somewhere, or maybe it was Mother Ruth. Remember reading on this key, it said, when the star of the soul begins to shine, one has has found the beginning of the way.
Quick note, because I don't actually notice this until now, but I just noticed that the handles on
Mhm.
the two vases are white,
Right.
and so it just makes me think of Kether,
Mhm.
divinity,
Right.
that, and just kind of where you see the white is where you see the spirit and all that. So that just kind of I
Exactly.
don't know, just the fact that she's the the fact the handles are white, just that's
Yes.
what she's holding on to and
Mm.
grasping on and using that to pour. She's pouring just
Yeah, I
it
love
just kind of
that.
strikes me as a nice thing. Yeah.
Very nice. I've never had that thought. That's really beautiful, Easy. Thanks for sharing that. And grasping hand is called, right?
Hmm.
The
Yep.
the rewarding intelligence.
Hmm. Hmm.
All right. I think we're going to move forwards here. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all for sharing your light and insights on this key. So, using the core practice with the star key will train you to meditate. This is as simple as I can put it. If you really want to learn to meditate, not that you don't already have an ability or skills or techniques, but this is one way that works. You just give your full attention to this key, and it is a formula that tells your subconscious exactly what to do. This tells your subconscious, oh, this is what you want. And your subconscious takes this and brings about this inner state that we call meditation. But you have to enter into it. And you do that through your concentration on the key and contemplation, which is the whole essence of the core practice. Now, the more you work with this key, it assists you to cross a threshold. And as you cross this threshold through what we sometimes call a liminal space, you'll find that you naturally enter into the state called meditation. The more you immerse yourself in it and trust, you'll find that you are being meditated by the all. Trust in this, the all. Trust in the holy guardian angel who assists you in this. And allow it to show you what it will show you. You will go as deep as you will allow yourself to be taken. And for most of us, this occurs in stages, which is fine. The teaching is we live forever, so no worries about exhausting any eternal possibilities within us. Notice where her knee is and where her foot is, where Victoria brought up how it's solid. Really love that. On the tree, who can state where this key connects, which spheres?
The sun sphere, Tiferet, and the foundation, the moon.
Okay, that's temperance, the guardian angel.
Oh,
It's okay. The star key connects Venus, which is green. Just have a red rose over it because it is the sphere of desire. And her foot's on the pool of Yesod, the foundation. So when you wake up in your dreams, you're able to walk on water. Because the mind stuff in Yesod of the astral plane is frozen. Who was it? Was it Plato said that matter is frozen music or something like that? Michael, is that Plato?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I don't remember.
All right, it's one of them. Anyway, the point is, when you wake up in your lucid dreams, that higher vibratory level becomes much more solid. Like we perceive this world to be solid, it becomes like that. Very much its own world, but without the same limitations that we tend to experience and believe in here in this level of Malkut. So on the tree, again, she connects Venus, she is Venus, to the moon, to the astral plane. So when you work with the star key, expect it's going to activate your own desire nature and the dream part of you, the astral vital soul part of you. Very simply, your desires and your dreams. Now, as you wake up more and more in the astral plane of the sphere of the moon of Yesod, it's from this inner state of dreaming that you can more deeply connect to the one dreamer. Why? Because there's We are being meditated by the all. We are the dream of the all. The one that is meditating you, me, moment by moment, forever. At the level of self-consciousness in the astral, we can connect more deeply with the one that is dreaming and unite our own self-consciousness with it. Now, our subconscious is an inlet, like an inlet to the ocean of the all. It's how we enter into the ocean, right? We don't just generally go straight into the deepest waters. We have a little inlet and we make our way out to deeper and deeper waters. The same in meditation. It's from this inlet of our own subconscious, which is what the whole tarot is built upon, working directly with it, that you are eventually caught by the mind of the all and raised, like a fish from very deep, deep waters of the all. Now, only in this path and current, the being caught, you are actually raised like a fish, but you're raised in vibration. You're raised from a lower state to a higher state of vibratory, what we would call reality. Now, you already exist in this higher state because we are multidimensional beings. And this process is simply part of our spiritual evolution. So, to make it simple, working particularly with the star key, with persistence, will always lead to some form of revelation or revelations about the self. These are things you'll definitely want to write in your book, your journal. Not so much, I mean, yeah, of course, to remember things, but that's not really why. You want to ground it here in this world. As you're bringing this down, you're being raised up. As Michael brought up, the number 17 shows the number 7, which is the number of mastery, working through the agency of one, or the self-conscious magician. And 1 is the number of beginning. So, I find it really interesting that final Tzaddi connects with the teacher and the lover's key, and we look again at it, you'll see it also connects with the end of the original Tzaddi current and completes it. Does everyone see that? Here's the star key on the above south side of the cube. So the fish hook comes through here, right? And connects all 3 of these, the star, the teacher, and the lovers. So that's interesting. The universe meditates itself into being. It mediates and meditates on its own nature. And that nature is you. That's what we are. Tzaddi in the Sephir Yetzirah is called the natural intelligence. So this is our natural state, our eternal being. The difference between us and what we call God is we did not create ourselves. And the remembrance of our Creator is revelation. So this week, make your intention or your prayer to wake up within your dreams. As you go about your day, really ask yourself, is my dream, is this a dream? Do it inwardly, don't make a big spectacle, but ask people inwardly, show me something. Ask the guardian angel, ask the star of Tzaddi, show me, like Margot says, show me more. And then watch what comes to you. This is waking up. Sleeping is getting up and thinking we know where we're at, what we're doing, what's going on, who's in control, all of those things, right? But we come at it from a childlike perspective and say, show me, help me. The universe is very, and our elder brothers are very happy to assist us in this. So make it your primary aim to wake up in your dreams this week with core practice and star key. And if you like, you can alternate each night with this image of final Sadi in the blue sphere, which is the tattva of air, and put here in the air and the square of earth. So this is what you call air of earth in the global tradition. The reason for that is Aquarius is an air sign. If you're curious, that's why that's there. But this is just an image until you really integrate it and see what doors it opens for you. Now, speaking of wish, something fun, something different for you to do this week. Maybe you haven't done this in a while. But if you desire to, you don't have to, but if you so desire, you might make a wish on the star in the star key before you go to bed each night. Like a child. Just make a wish. And if you don't know what to wish for, ask the self to make a wish for you. And just see what happens. Thank you all for your light and participation. This concludes this part of Final Sadi, Lucid Dreaming in the Cube Space. And the floor is now open. Any questions or comments?